Monster Energy Supercross 5 Milestone is set to release Monster Energy Supercross 5 on March 17, 2022. I was lucky enough to grab a preview build and put together some thoughts for those who are anxiously awaiting news and insight on the new game. There have been some adjustments and altered approaches both on the track and off this year, and while the Monster Energy Supercross 5 preview build didn't allow me access to everything, I was able to see many of the improvements in action with my own eyes. Over the last couple years, Milestone has addressed this in small ways, but I felt the series still needed more excitement in a way that accurately showcased what it was like to be in the arena or stadium during one of these events. I am happy to say that during my time with the preview build, I witnessed some solid improvements in the presentation department. Some of the improvements included pulled back pre-race camera shots to capture the size of the event, and others included larger firework displays and crowd interaction and excitement. One key criticism I've had with recent Supercross games has been a lack of approachability for newcomers. Heck, 4 was even a struggle for those who were already acclimatized. This has taken a significant step forward with Supercross 5, thankfully. Previously there were featherweight tutorials and a lack of physics explanations. Once you'd completed the main tutorial, and I use the term loosely as it was simply one lap around a track and a handful of vague on-screen prompts, you were out in the open and a little lost. This time around, there's the Futures Academy, where 7-time AMA Motocross 450cc and 5-time AMA Supercross 450cc champion Ricky Carmichael guides you through some basic challenges. It's nothing earth-shattering. The GOAT's voiceover work is a bit wooden, but at last, there is an explanation of how to use the rider's weight with the right analog stick around corners and before big jumps. This was purely assumptive in past games. Combined with overviews on how to scrub and adjust your rider's position over a series of smaller bumps comes a slew of new assists. There's a jump helper, flow recovery and automatic weight jumping, all absent from previous Supercross releases. While these do not take complete control away from the player, they are a welcome helping hand, aiding you through the trickiest sections and making it feel as if you're doing all the hard work. With additional assists to help newcomers and those struggling to get into the flow of things, Monster Energy Supercross 5 aims to be the most accessible and inclusive entry in the series as well. While veterans are likely to want to turn things like rewind and automatic weight jumping off, they're hugely beneficial to those finding their feet and who require the odd crutch. The AI seems a bit fairer this time around, too. To further compound Monster Energy Supercross 5's welcoming nature, Futures Academy mode offers a selection of introductory, advanced and theory lessons for those seeking to master every aspect of the game. It's a bit crazy that it's taken 5 iterations of the game for such a mode to exist, really. But it's better late than never. Those whose eyes like to be pleasured by colored assortments of on-screen pixels will be happy to hear that there's an incremental improvement in that department, too. Last year's Monster Energy Supercross 4 was a pretty good-looking game, and Monster Energy Supercross 5 seems to look a teeny bit better. There's certainly more fluidity to the animations. It's the redesigned menus and on-screen display that have impressed us the most though, giving the game a more colorful and premium feel. The tracks include all of the stops on the East and West AMA Supercross calendar as well as a number of original SX courses from Milestone and some outdoor tracks at a compound. This even includes an MX track which is quite fun. There were a few rough visual edges to some of the tracks, especially those outside with a far-off horizon, but they all felt like things that could be tidied up before launch or in a post-launch patch. For those that find importance in such things, all of the riders, their bikes and their liveries for the Monster Energy Supercross 2021 season, including the 450SX, 250 East and 250 West roster, are included. There's even a handful of 2-stroke bikes included this times around. I've googled a handful of the racers and compared a photo to their in-game model and they're quite impressive. You can even tell the difference in the height of racers by the way they sit on the bike. While everything I've experienced in my preview time with Monster Energy Supercross, the official Videogame 5 felt like a move in the right direction, some of the most important aspects of the game were not included in this build. Where I usually spend most of my time with these games, the career campaign mode was absent, as was online multiplayer. The free roaming mode and all of the editors were excluded too. If all of these modes and tools deliver at launch to the standard of the rest of this preview build, then it could be quite some game. It's certainly a promising start. Those whose eyes like to be delighted by colorful assortments of on-screen pixels will be happy to hear that there's incremental improvement in that department too. Last year's Monster Energy Supercross 4 was a very nice game, and Monster Energy Supercross 5 looks a little bit better. There is definitely more fluidity in the animations. It's the redesigned menus and on-screen display that impressed us the most, giving the game a more colorful and premium feel. Of course we have to work with Monster Energy Supercross 5 before giving a final verdict, but our first impressions are very positive. By focusing on improving the on-track experience, Milestone may have just given gameplay the boost it needed to really engage Supercross fans. An extra help for those in need should also open the door for some newcomers. Add other new features like split-screen multiplayer for the first time, and this might turn out to be Monster Energy Supercross' most notable release since the series began. Monster Energy Supercross 5 launching March 17 on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and PC.